Chef Zakarian for 6 years, is that right?
That's right, yep.
6 years, and one of the things that you are needing to do as you're cooking is register the internal temperature. But you don't want to cut into those said items because you can make a mess of the presentation.
Exactly.
These infrared thermometers are your answer.
Yes, and so infrared actually is a little bit different than taking the internal temperature of something. This is when you want to use this when you want to keep your hands away from the surface. So when maybe it's impractical to insert a probe into something, or the surface that you're testing, maybe the back of your oven is far away, this is going to take your temperature but keep your hands away from the high heat for safety. So again, if you're searing a steak, we want our pan to be, which this tells us it's super low, right? So we just got that read of 273. We want this pan at like almost 500 if we're gonna sear a steak. So again, accuracy, this just takes that guesswork away when you're in the kitchen. We know we wanna wait a little bit, let the pan get hotter, and then we'll be ready to sear our steaks.
Now, the same is true with deep frying. And here, are you poaching eggs?
We're poaching eggs, yes. So water boils at 212 degrees. So again, I mean, water, we see water when it boils, but it simmers for poached eggs at 180. So again, we'll temp our water. Let's see what we're at. So we're at 122, which I'll just flip it around. And the second you release that trigger, it's gonna hold at whatever the temperature is. So we know, again, we want this water to come up and get hotter so that we get that perfect result when we poach our eggs.
Now, we have two colors available for you. The Hunter Green and Zakarian Blue. This cranberry is gone.
Oh wow, no more cranberry. Okay, so
but you have the Zakarian Blue and the green, and they're one's called Hunter Green, and the other is called Zakarian Blue. Those are the only two. And our batteries, do they come with?
They come with batteries, yes. So this takes 2 AAA batteries, and it reads Celsius and Fahrenheit. So we've got options here, and we're going to get some shrimp tempura going in a second. And again, accuracy is the name of the game when we're cooking, right? So we want this oil at 375 so that when our tempura hits it, it'll drop down to 350. So again, this is just ensuring that we're gonna get that perfect result when we're cooking. And if you've got an oven that's a little bit off, right? I live in New York City, so all the kitchens there have their own quirks. So the back of our oven, we've got hot spots, we've got cold spots. So this is gonna help you, again, if you wanna test, if you're baking, you wanna get a perfect result. Check your oven in the back, see what's hot, where it's cold, so that you know kind of where to put your baked goods.
You are a brave lady when it comes to poached eggs, because poached eggs give me a lot of anxiety.
I know. Well, and you know what? The more you do it, the more you get comfortable with it. So we're getting there. I'm going to turn up our heat just a little bit. And then when we poach eggs, so we've already added some white vinegar to this pot, right? And that's just going to help the egg white coagulate a little bit. So another trick when we're poaching eggs is take the bottom end of your spoon, and we're going to create like a little bit of a vortex. So just swirling that water around. And again, just below a gentle simmer is what we're after. And so we're just gonna do one at a time here, and crack your eggs into little ramekins or bowls, again, just so that you can put the tip right on the surface of the water. And because we swirled, the water is gonna do its work, wrap the egg white around itself, and it'll cook. We'll land it right on our breakfast sandwich. And again, we're not sticking a probe into water, right? Because if it's boiling, we wanna keep our hands away. So when we wanna build distance and take the surface temperature of something, that's when this infrared thermometer comes in handy.
Oh, you are a brave soul. 100 of these have been picked up. Many of you are cooking, and at the beginning of barbecue season, you're wanting to make sure that things are cooking at the right temperature. This is the best way.
Exactly, yes, and you can even take the surface temp of your steak, right? So when we cook a steak like this, you'll hear Jeffrey say this over and over again. I mean, a steak this thick, this is about 1.5 inches, you really want to let this sit out for well over an hour, right? So we want our steaks completely at room temperature when it hits that 500-degree skillet. So again, this infrared thermometer is helping you be accurate when we're in the kitchen. We're temping the surface of our steaks, we're temping the surface of our pan. And again, you do need the probe as well, but there are jobs that each fit, so they're both useful. So let's just take a read of our temp, and I'll flip it around and show you where we're at. So we're at about 400. So for most things that you're searing, that's gonna be great. You can go ahead and put your food in the pan, but for a steak, again, we really wanna be closer to 500. So we're gonna let this keep rising. Check our oil here. Again, we want this at 375 so that when our tempura hits, it sizzles, it drops to 350, and we get that perfect golden brown fry.
And that's registering what?
So right now we're at 300, 299 to be exact.
So we have a little ways to go.
Yep, so we're getting there.
Your poached eggs come along nicely.
They're looking beautiful. And you said you don't poach eggs at home ever?
Well, I don't typically do it at home because it's stressful.
It can be stressful, but like I said, the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it. And that's why we want to bring this home, right? Because if you are doing something like poaching eggs that you're not super used to, right, this is going to help you with accuracy. This is going to help you succeed in the kitchen and really get that gorgeous end result.
Wow, this is remarkable stuff. $19.98 for your choice of Hunter Green or Zakarian Blue in our infrared thermometer. This is really lovely product, and you're looking at something that is going to work out really nicely. Now, you'll notice also that Molly only put salt on these steaks.
Exactly, yes. So pepper, actually, I always used to add pepper to my steaks, and then Jeffrey was like, no, only salt, because pepper actually burns and it starts to taste a little bit bitter. So just salt with our steaks. And we've got this gorgeous, nice Greek flaky sea salt. And again, I mean, you really have to salt steak a lot more than you think, because it's a thick cut of meat, right? And you hear that sizzle, right? We waited. It was hard to wait. We were patient, but we kept temping our pan until it got to 500. And again, that's going to ensure that we get that gorgeous, deep
Sear.
caramel color that we were loving earlier when we had
That
our
Maillard
cast
effect.
iron. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Let's check in with our oil. Again, when we're working with hot oil, we want to keep our hands far away, right? So this infrared thermometer is great when, just for safety. So we're at 320. So we're getting there, but we're going to wait and be patient so that our shrimp tempura is super crispy.
Because
when we
remember,
drop
the
it.
frozen shrimp will bring the temperature of the oil down.
Down about 25 to 40 degrees.
And it
So-
could make that shrimp very greasy.
Exactly, yes. So we want to wait until our oil gets to 375. And again, I mentioned this earlier, but also if you're a baker, I don't know, are you into sourdough at all?
I love sourdough.
Okay, so if you are a baker and you are working with your sourdough starter, feeding it every day, you'll know you want that starter to be at about 76 degrees for it to be happy, for it to grow, right? So again, you can check the temp here. That'll tell you, okay, it's a little cool. Let me move it to a warmer spot in my kitchen. All right, it's too warm. Let me move it to a cooler spot. So again, accuracy is key with this.
And your poached egg.
It's looking nice. And again, we want this temperature at about 180. Oh, we're gonna let it go a little bit longer. Let's check our oil. We're getting there. And you know how to test the oil before you fry? Because you can take like one little breadcrumb, drop it in, see if it sizzles. See that bubble? Okay, so that, again, we have the thermometer, but that also tells us. We're gonna drop it in away from us. That gorgeous sizzle.
And the key
again,
here is not to overcrowd the pan.
The key here is not to overcrowd the pan. So we're just gonna add about 5 of these shrimps. And again, with the infrared thermometer, we checked that oil temp. We knew it was at 375, so that when we dropped it in, we would hit 350 and get a gorgeous golden brown result.
Now, 2 color choices for you to go between, and batteries are included. There will be a little cheat sheet that comes along with this, or a booklet. And we have this for you in Zakarian Blue. We also have it in Hunter Green. So all of these are coming together for you very nicely. And Miss Molly, I will tell you, between your steaks, your shrimp, your tempered eggs, delightful.
Thank you.
Really
Thank
perfect.
you.
Don't miss out on this, and we'll keep you all updated as we continue on. This is K99026. Thank you, Miss Molly. Good to see you as always. Now, if you missed out on this